Yo, what's up, guys? Welcome back to another video of improving my communication skill. So, let's dive into this. Hey, she said. Her perky voice stalled me. I had been scanning the college notice board. I turned around. I had played for this to happen. She and I had both made it. She wore black skin tight jeans and a black and white striped t-shirt. Without the sweat and grime from coat, her face glowed. She had translucent pink lip gloss on with teeny glitter beads on her lips. Her hair, slightly wavy, came all the way down to her waist. Her long finger looked delicate, hiding the power they had displayed on court. My was in my mouth. Ever since I had got my admission letter, I have been waiting for this moment before college opened to pass quickly and to find out if Ria has made it too. Ria, she said, you remember, right? Did I remember? I want to tell her I have not forgotten her for one moment since I left Delhi. I wanted to tell her that I have never seen a girl more beautiful than her. I wanted to tell her that the oxygen flow to my lungs has stopped. Of course, I said. Glad you joined. I wasn't sure actually, she said and pointed to the notice board. Is that the first year timetable? I nodded. She smiled at me again. What's your course? She asked, her eyes on the notice board. Sociology, I said. Oh, intellectual, she said. I didn't know what that meant. However, she laughed and I guess it was something funny, so I laughed along. The notice board has the notice board also has a bunch of staple sheets with the name of all first year student and their new roll numbers. What's about your? I said. I adjust my yellow t-shirt and blue jeans. She looked at the board. I had bought new clothes from Patna for St. Stephen's. I didn't look like a government office clerk anymore. I wanted to fit in my new college. English, she said. Here, see, that's my name, Ria Somani. English honors. It said my heart sank. A girl doing an on English degree would be never befriend a country bumpkin like me. Her phone rang. She took out the sleek Nokia instrument from her jeans pocket. Hi mom, she said in Hindi. Yes, I reached. Yes, all good, just finding my way. Her English was music to my ears, so I could talk to her. She spoke for a minutes more and hang up to find me looking at her. Moms, she said. Yes, you speak Hindi? She laughed. You keep asking me that. Of course I do. Why? My English isn't good, I said and switched language. Can I talk to you in Hindi? What you say matters, not the language, she said and smiled. Some say there is an exact moment when you fell in love. I didn't know if it was true before, but I do now. This was it. When Ria Somani said that line, the world turned in slow motion. I noticed her delicate eyebrows when she spoke. They moved slightly. They had the perfect length, thickness, and width. She would win the best eyebrows competition, hands down. Or as we go in basketball, it would be a slam dunk. Perhaps I should have waited to fall in love with her. However, I knew it was pointless. I had little control over my feelings. So, from my first day in college, I was in love. Ria Somani basketball is basketball player, English literature student, most beautiful girl on the planet, honor of the extraordinary eyebrows, and speaker of wonderful lines, had yanked my heart out of its hiding place. Of course, I could not show it. I didn't have the courage, nor would it be a smart idea. We walked down the corridor towards our respective classes. I had her with me for 2 more minutes. You made friends here, she said. Not really, I said. You? I have some classmates from school in St. Stephen. Plus, I am from Delhi, so have many friends outside. I hope I can adjust, I said. I feel don't belong here. Trust me, nobody feels they do, she said. See, which resistance did they give you? Rudra, I said. How about you? They don't give one to the lights. I am a day ski, unfortunately, she said using the common term of day scholar. We reached my classroom. I pretended not to see it and kept walking until she reached her. Oh, this is my class, she said. Where's your? I will find out. Go ahead, I said. She smiled and waved goodbye. I walked to her out of coffee, but couldn't. I could shoot a basket from half court 3 times in a row, but I could not ask a girl to come to the college cafeteria with me. Basketball. I burned out. What? Want to play sometimes? I recover quickly. With you, you will kick my ass, she said and laughed. I don't know why she felt I would kick her rear end or why she find the phrase funny. I joined her in the laughter anyways. You play well, I said as we stood at the classroom door. Okay, maybe after a few days once we settle into classes, she said. She walked in for her first English lecture. The joy of the possibilities of meeting her again made me forget I had a class. I wanted to dance in the garden. The bell for the first period rang. This isn't sociology, right? I asked a clueless English student as he arrived late for his own class. You are good, really good, she said as she wiped her face with a towel. She had played a half court game. I defeated her 29. I am hopeless, she said. She took a sip from her water bottle. She wore a fitted sleeveless white top and purple shorts. You are fine, just out of practice, I said. She finished the water and shook the empty bottle. I am still thirsty, she said. Cafe, I said. She looked at me somewhat surprised. I keep a straight face. You get good juice there, I said in an innocent tone. A swarm of students buzzed inside the cafeteria. Given that it was lunch hour, it took us 5 minutes to get a table. They didn't have juice, so Ria settled for lemonade. I ordered a mayonnaise and cold coffee. I realized both of us had problem initiating conversation. I couldn't talk because I didn't have the confidence. Given a choice, preferred to be quiet. Silent Ria, I wanted to call her. I had to break this deadlock if I wanted this to go anyway, anywhere. The waiter brought us our food. In Bihar, we have aloo chop, in which we sometimes stuff keema. This means is the same, I said. What's Bihari like? I have never been there, she said and pursed her lips around the straw to sip her lemonade. Not like Delhi. Simple, lots of rice field, peaceful. Apart from cities like Patna, I like peaceful places, she said. There are problems too. People aren't educated. Educated. There is violence. I am sure you have heard word and backward state as people say. You can be rich and backward too. We had an awkward silence for 2 minutes. Silent Ria and scared mother. Break the deadlock, I told myself. So you live with your family in Delhi? Yes, a big one. Parents, uncle, cousins, and a brother. What do your parents do? I said. A boy should make more interesting conversation with a girl, but a loser like me had a little experience or finance in this regard. Family business, real estate, and infrastructure. You are rich, right? I said. Idiot mother couldn't think of anything better. She laughed at my direct question. Rich in money or rich in mind? Two different things. Oh, rich like wealthy. Unfortunately, yes. What's unfortunately? Everyone wants to be rich. Yeah, I guess I just embarrassed it. It just embarrasses me. Plus all the obsessions with money and how it defines you, I just don't get it. I realize she and I came from different world. Perhaps it was a futile battle to pursue her. Logically, practically, and rationally, it made no sense. Can I try your means? She said, I am hungry. I nodded. I asked the waiter to get another fork, however, before he could get one more. She picked up mine and took a bite. She took my fork. Did it mean anything? Where's home for you? She said. Dumro, a small town 3 hours from Patna. Nice, she said. You will probably find it boring. No, no, tell me more. As you can see, I am not much of talker. I like to listen, she said. She seemed genuinely interested. I told her about my life back home, revolving around my mother, her school, and basketball. There wasn't much else. My father had passed away 10 years ago. He has left us as a huge crumbling Haveli, a couple of fields, and many legal cases related to the properties. We have some servant who stayed in the Haveli's servant headquarters more out of loyalty than their paltry salaries. My ancestors were landlord and from the royal family of the Dumra, the oldest princely estate in the Bihar, India. When India became independent, the government took away our family estates and left us with the annual pension that declined with every generation. My my great grand uncles squandered their money, especially since they all felt they could gamble better than anyone else in the world. Several near bankruptcies later, the women of the house took charge as the men had all turned into alcoholics. Somehow the women saved the family proud and the heavily. All of my cousins had moved abroad and vowed never to return. My father, the only one to remain in Bihar, held the last title of Raja Sahib of Dumrao. 10 years ago, he had scrambled to a cardiac arrest. My mother, Rani Sahiba Durga Jha, was the only strong-willed person left in the family. She brought me up and maintained the few farms left. She also ran the Dumro Royal School, which taught 700 kids from nearby villages. The noise of air bubbles as Ria sucked up the last of her lemonade made me realize I had spoken non-stop for 10 minutes. I am boring you. I said I want to stay quiet for few minutes. It had to be silent. Ria turned now. Not at all. I smiled. Now you speak. If you let me talk, I won't spot. Okay, but wait. Technically, you are prince, aren't you? Or are you the king, Raja Sahib? I laughed. There are no kings and princes anymore. Only uneducated villagers talk like that. But they do, right? Seriously, I am talking to a prince. Do they address you as prince? She winded her eyes. Her award winning eyebrows moved up and down a little. Sometimes they do. They do. Listen, it's not important. We are not rich or anything. You live in a palace. Heavily like it's like, well, a small palace. Anyways, I am no prince. I am a Bihari boy trying to graduate. Do I look like a prince from any angle? Come on. You are tall and handsome. You could be one. If you had some jewelry, she said. She had said it in jest, but it was the first real compliment she had paid me. Little cupcake of happiness exploded inside me. Did I? Uh, Commoner just played basketball with the Rajesh Sahib of the Dumro, she said, and burst into laughter. I shouldn't have told you. I shook my head. Come on, she said, and tapped my wrist. My arm went all warm and tingling. What about you? With 18 years old, which 18 years old girls come to college in a BMW and call herself a commoner? Oh, you noticed? That's my dad car. You must be so rich. My family is not me. As she spoke, three girls arrived at our table, which we have we have been looking for you everywhere. One of them said. Hey, girls, Ria said, come sit with us. Madhav, meet Garima, Aisa, and Rakita, friends from my class. Girls, this is Madhav, my basketball friend. I realized my place in her basketball friend. Perhaps she had friends for a specific purpose. The girl looked me up and down, down and up, checking me out. Not bad, Ria, Garima said and winked at her. The girl busted out laughing and sat down with us. Are you in the college team? Rachita asked me. She wore a red and black bandana on her head. I noted nervous at their bold familiarity. Madhav had played state level, Ria said and looked at me proudly. Wow, the girls said in unison. Would you like to order something? I said. The three girls froze and then began to laugh. Dawned on me it dawned on me that they were laughing at me. My English had sound like this. Would you like to order anything? I don't know. This was such a cardinal sin. What happened? I said, Not a thing. Garima said and stood up. Thanks, Madhav. We just ate lunch. Here, yeah, let's catch up later. Yeah. The three girls left. We waved goodbyes. What happened, dear? I said, They are dizzy. Forget them, she said. Dizzy? Silly and stupid. Anyways, I better leave too. My driver should be here. We walk out of the cafeteria to the main gate. Her dark blue BMW waited outside. So I am your basketball friend, I said as we reached the car. Well, that's and my lemonade and mm, Min's friend. How about tea friend? Sure. She stepped inside the car and sat down. She rolled down the window to say goodbye. Or a movie friend? Hmm. What? Need to think about it. Think about what? Will the Royal Highness condemn me to death if I said no? I laughed. I might. See you later, Prince. He said the car drove off. I didn't know if it was a real prince or not, but I had found my princess. Alright. This was for the day. I will see you in the next video. Till then, keep going.